Hello, welcome to this podcast on energetic beepers. You're wondering what an energetic beeper is, but you probably know on some level. So, what I'm talking about is when we want to meet another person, perhaps we want to meet someone who'll become our partner, or we want to meet better people, like in general, we can do a thing where we switch on our electronic beeper. I always see it around my heart, and it means that I'm switching on, I'm being open. So, I switch on my beeper and I get it beeping. And then what you do is you just think about asking the universe to send you the best partner for you, like the person who's going to make you the happiest, the person who's going to love you unconditionally. Set up your little list of what you want. I wouldn't go into so much brown eyes and 6 foot tall. I don't think those are so important. I think if you're doing a spiritual thing, you should come more from a spiritual place, but it's up to you. So I switch it on, so I switch my beeper on, and then I see visually my partner that I want to meet, and then I switch their beeper on. So both of our beepers are beeping. So if we want to try and find each other, it's going to be a hell of a lot easier because down here it's really hard to find people. Many people are going online, and you can do this process if you're online too, because you switch the beeper on. It's got nothing to do with the modality of how you meet, or you can just switch it on and you might meet them organically. So you go to a party and they're there. The reason we do it is because we're trying to advantage the meet, and even though there will be divine timing, and sometimes you'll have to wait for that. I'm sorry about that. You'll have to wait for it. I'm still waiting for my divine timing. You have to be patient with that part. However, it helps us to be open now to meet that person because we've set up who we want to meet, and then we've switched on their beeper, so they can either find us or we can find them. It just makes the openness in the process. It's kind of saying yes and yes. Now, if your partner or the person you're supposed to be with doesn't want to meet you because they're still dealing with their own hurt, they haven't healed enough, they will probably just switch their beeper off or turn it down. It's not something where you're trying to control anyone. You're just trying to advantage a situation. This is also good to do to meet new friends or to rekindle old relationships that you had with people that now life's taken different turns, but you want to rekindle it, and you just switch the beeper back on. Because when you switch the beeper on, it's a spiritual thing, it's an energetic thing. So the two little souls in us, their soul and our soul, is saying, oh, okay, we're ready to do that now. The human is just the vehicle. That's the vehicle to get us to the meet place. I found that doing this was also very positive in my life. I was sending out a beep that I wanted to meet the person or the people, and then I also with that put in what sort of people I wanted. So I wasn't asking, please send me all the losers of the world or the most selfish narcissists you can find. I was asking them to send me people who are like me. So you think about who you are and you think about what you want, and that's what you ask for with your beeper. So the beeper has got conditions, I suppose, if you're going to say that, but I think it's very wise to switch on the beeper with those conditions. So what kind of partner you want to attract, what sort of friends you want to attract. You can also do this with the family. So if you've got a fairly large family and you haven't seen that cousin or the nephew or an auntie you like, you switch the beeper on. I just think it's the most beautiful thing that I was shown. I just thought it was so incredibly gorgeous that you could switch these beepers on, and then you just let it evolve. It's free will still. You don't feel bad about it. You just switch the beeper on your side, and if they decide not to do it, you're not trying to control them. You're just trying to enhance the situation. Meeting someone down here, whether they're friend or a partner, is really, really difficult because of free will. In my case, it took me 5 meets before I actually connected with my husband in that way. 5 times, and every time it didn't work for some reason. Now, I'm not saying the beepers weren't on. I'm just saying he had a girlfriend, I had a boyfriend, he was in a different circle of friends. He's invited to the party, but he didn't come. I was supposed to go to the tennis thing for work. I didn't go because of free will. And free will is very, very powerful down here. It's more powerful than anything people don't realize. If you go to reading and the person reads the possible outcome, but you decide you don't want to do that, you won't make the reading wrong, but your free will influence the outcome of what that reading could have been, and you can change it. You can change your destiny with free will. Have fun working out who you want to have as a partner, and also who you want to have as a friend. What sort of friends do you really want to have? And start thinking about that. It's important because people come into our lives for lessons and karma, but sometimes you can get a little bit tired of that. You just want to have like a really good friend or a really good partner. You don't want to really do the hard things all the time. And even though there'll be lessons that we set in place for ourselves, we can also change that dynamic by now wanting positive things in our life. And that's what I think the beepers are. They're a positive thing. Every day, if you want to, you can switch your beeper on or make sure it's activated or charge it like your phone, I don't know. And every day you can make sure that there's charged. If you're very intuitive and psychic, you might see it actually beeping. And what it will do is it will just make the connection much easier. The free will be there still, but the ability to bump into each other and then make a choice will be greater. For example, if the beepers are on some energetic level, you will be drawn to go to that particular place, or they'll be drawn to go to that actual dating site. It will draw you because what happens is the energy draws you to the person, and then you find the vehicle to get to the energy. Most people don't realize they can use the beepers. The beepers are actually kind of always working in really strong friendships, and they're like the telepathic part of us, like when we're having a really tough time and our friend rings us up and asks for a recipe, but we know they didn't really want the recipe. They were just tuned in and realized there was something up because both of your beepers are on. They're both active in the relationship. And that's the other thing too. If you have difficult relationships, you've got an ex who's bothering you, or family member or friend that you feel isn't a healthy choice, is toxic, switch the beeper off. So switch your beeper off, and you can actually switch their beeper off too. They'll switch it back on if they want to. They have free will. But if they're being very difficult, this could be a good process for you to switch your beeper off. And you can do that for a short time, a medium time, or forever. It's really up to you. But these beepers are signals that we are sending. And we are always sending signals out. We send signals through our body language when we meet someone. Wherever we go, we're always sending signals by what we say. So this is another form of signaling. And I think it used in a really good way with good intention by you. It can actually be a good thing for you. I think too, in terms of the exes and the toxic people, sometimes I think, and I would include myself in this, I've left my beeper on. I just tend to do that, but it's not always a healthy choice for me at times, or maybe for that person forever. So it's up to you to make those kind of decisions. That's really a personal choice. But I found the beeper thing really interesting and kind of cute and fun as well, besides being particularly an advancement in our spirituality to realise that we can send the signal. So switch your beepers on for your partner if you haven't got one. Switch your beepers on for better friends to attract them, or old friends who come back in, and that can happen too because the love's still there. And then send them also for family members who maybe you're not seeing as much of or you'd want to see more of. And that's the other thing. If you're not getting to see some people as much as you'd like, you can just switch your beeper on, switch their beeper on, and then just see where it goes from there. When we spend healing or we do these spiritual practice, just remember we're not actually interfering. We're giving opportunity. The person will switch it off or not receive the healing or not listen to the message. They will always have that. Okay, you're not trying to manipulate anything. You're giving opportunity, because if you don't do that, then there's never a chance, is there? It's like if you don't send somebody healing, then they don't have the chance to have the healing. What they do with the healing is up to them, and the beepers are the same. So have some fun switching yours on, and I think switching other people's, but I think there's something really organically right and spiritual about us switching our beeper on, because I've done readings and I see the person this person's supposed to meet, but I say to the person, you're still blocking it. There's still a block there, and I think it's because the beeper has been switched off, and often other people have switched our beeper off because they hurt us so badly or betrayed us. So we haven't ever switched our beeper back on. And you'll see those lonely hearts walking around, people who never ever will go into a relationship. And that's because the beeper is switched off. For you to switch it on is going to be a healing for you as well. And you never know. Switching theirs on could be a healing for them. Because even if they choose to have it on for a while and then switch it off, some part of them knows that that process has happened, and they might switch it on later on themselves without even realizing it. So good luck, have fun. I thought this one was really cool. I love this one. I was talking to my friend Dan, and I was talking to her about it, and I thought, I've got to do a podcast on that one. Okay, good luck with your beepers. I'm sending you lots of love, lots of healing.